All right, so welcome back to the channel. I want to talk a little bit about Ralf Rangnick. Everybody's talking about him. This is a Man United news story, so this isn't my usual video games or comic books or whatever. So the last Man United focus video I did was on finally Ole getting sacked, and wondering what was going to happen going forward. Because even with Ole being sacked, we still have to deal with the Glazers and the board. And when they fired Ole, they just fired Ole. They didn't fire his terrible coaches. They didn't fire Carrick, or McCarrick, as I was calling him in my last video a couple of times. They didn't fire Carrick or McKenna or Phelan, and they have to go too. Now, apparently, they're going to keep them. Which is ridiculous and absurd. Carrick was the interim manager now for the past 2 games, and we won against Villarreal, which is great because we're still in the Champions League. We're not going to go down to Europa League, and which I actually thought was going to happen. So we drew today with Chelsea. But just looking at Carrick's teams, the way he's picked players, you could see a lot of the problems that Ole had as a coach. You could see that they definitely were a team, and that constantly picking McTominay and Fred is definitely from Carrick. Now Ole signed off on it, so he should still go, and I don't feel sorry for him or anything like that. He should have put his foot down if he thought anything different, but he's just not, good enough of a coach. It's ridiculous how, to hear, someone in Liverpool, I think, was like, oh, we didn't practice or train really for United because we didn't know what they were going to do. Like, basically, they're just disorganized team. So we just kicked the ball around for 10 minutes and then just went on about our business. Ridiculous, just ridiculous. It's amazing that. Okay, so anyway, we've got Ralf Rangnick. He was the main person I was saying I wish they would get in my other videos, where I was saying how he's a specialist. Look what he's done to the Red Bull teams in Germany. He's somebody who's not only a great coach, but someone who can really fix broken teams. And even though Man United is the biggest team in the world, we're also probably the most broken team. It's ridiculous. And it's down to, the incompetence of the Glazers and the people that they appointed, namely Woodward. And so everyone is really super excited. I'm super excited about this because this Rangnick appointment, because now finally you have someone who who can actually help fix the team. But you have a real football decision finally. This is not a bank decision. And I feel like it was only done because, this year, see, time is, a flat circle. But this year, Woodward is supposed to be gone. It came out that he was going to be leaving the club. And I guess his replacement is a businessman, a banker. And he's not interested in the football side, which is great. That's absolutely great. So he's not interested in the football side. So guys like Murtaugh, who's supposed to be the director of football, and was it Fletcher? Darren Fletcher is supposed to be the technical director. They actually, Murtaugh in particular, I guess, has been traveling around Europe looking at different coaches and at different teams, I guess, to look for help with running Man United. So when we've been hearing about Rangnick, it was funny because people were coming out saying there were people on the board who really wanted him to come in, but there were people who were against it. And I feel like it's obvious now that that piece of shit Woodward is like the main person who was against it, because for him, he doesn't see himself as just a banker. He thinks, for whatever insane reason, that he knows football. And it's just ridiculous. You look at, there was a tweet I saw someone had put out showing all the players that Rangnick had gotten over the years, and the little amount of money, the young talent that he's found for little amount of money who are now superstars. And fans have talked about this now for the past few years, that because the people who are running the football side of things, Woodward, don't know football, all they know is this guy a big name? So they spend 80 fucking million on McGuire instead of going to Germany and finding a young talent that they can develop to become, someone that they can use without spending a lot of money. So the irony is the Glazers don't want to spend any money, but they had a guy in Woodward who doesn't know football, who wastes money because he doesn't know football. So he never should have hired Ole permanently. He shouldn't be holding on to these terrible coaches. Like everything, all his decisions cost them money. So again, it's a great appointment to have Rangnick coming in. So he's coming in as the interim coach, and then after that, he has like this 2-year consultancy thing, which if Woodward is still around, it could be one of those things where he could probably gum up the works and interfere where he doesn't have to. I'm hoping that's not going to happen. We'll see. I'm excited about the prospect of less about him managing, which at least the managing part they'll be better trained, the players. They'll be better coached and have a better understanding of tactics and of playing a more exciting brand of football. They're not going to park the bus to every fucking game. They're not going to raise the white flag against big teams. It's really amazing. I keep saying this, but when I think about just how incompetent and how amateurish Ole is as a coach, and the fact that we had to suffer him for 3 years, all this money spent on players for him, and how he couldn't get anything out of them really. Like even when he was going on big win streaks, like last year, he was going on these win streaks where he's just grinding out these ugly wins with individual play. Like he didn't have a plan, he didn't have a style. And if it wasn't for, these finally, some people are like, it's shocking how the players played for him in the end. If it wasn't for them, stupid, you'd still have Ole now. So I don't know why some of these people are complaining about the players like letting him down. For me, I just feel like at a certain point, it gets tiresome. You see the same thing over and over again. You're not prepared. You get Ronaldo in, and it's clear the manager and the coaching staff isn't good enough. But the team is still persisting with these guys. So anyway, I'm glad that they're gone. Well, not they. It's right now it's just Ole. So I'm glad that Ole is gone. Glad Rangnick's here. I'm interested to see what he does with the team in the next 6 months. As far as I'm sure he can get them playing better. I don't have high expectations for anything. There's this guy, there's this channel 7. It looks like a Ronaldo-focused channel who, as far as I can see, did an excellent video showing how Ronaldo would work in Gangnam style press, a Gangnam style press or Gangnam press style system for Rangnick, and how Ronaldo is perfect for it.
That's the team I've gone with. Now, usually I start with how the team's going to play in possession and their tactics going forward, but I think everyone wants to start with the press because that's what seems to be trending. Now, what is gegenpressing and counter-pressing? I think people first don't understand what that is, and I think it's best to give a good explanation. Counter-pressing is when you press immediately after you lose the ball. So you have possession and you're playing and you're progressing up the field, and then when the opponent takes the ball from you, it's pressing immediately afterwards. Now, you can only press for a certain amount because if you constantly press the ball, you're going to be either one, extremely tired because you're going to be running all over the ball, especially if we play like a Man City. And so you have to know when to stop. And 2, you have to press properly because, as we saw in the Liverpool game, teams that are well drilled can easily bypass a bad press. So with those 2 things, I think it's very common to say that pressing comes down to coaching. And I think that's going to lead me to my first point about Cristiano Ronaldo is he can play in this system. The idea that Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't press is completely flawed. He actually presses very well. I think people don't understand that because they don't see him running all over down the pitch. That doesn't make sense. For him, what he does really well, and I talk about this in all my videos, watch Cristiano Ronaldo when he plays. He does the same thing he's done in his entire career and what he did under Zidane in Madrid, which is he marks the DM and he makes a lot of curved runs like that. And what that does is it forces the ball to go to a certain part of the field, and that allows all the other players to press.
Because, you get this sort of common sense English pundit. Oh, Ronaldo doesn't press. He's lazy, or he's just a luxury player, and he doesn't actually do the work, and he doesn't press. He just wants to sit back and score goals, which isn't true. But people don't understand football. I mean, especially pundits. They really don't understand. They don't know what they're talking about. These are guys who played the game in a lot of instances 20 years ago. The game has completely passed them by as far as tactics and as far as the way people innovate. The way people see the game when they're playing. And so, I don't know. For me, when I was looking at this video about Ronaldo and how he fit in Rangnick's system, it made perfect sense. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully we'll see more of Donny. We should. He's a technical player who comes from Europe. You can see him, Sancho, the guys who were coached better before they came to United are better players. And it's a shame somebody like Bruno wasted a year or two here where he's done great, and I'm actually annoyed with him for being so well when he first came in because, he's kept Ole in the job for much longer than he should have been. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, I think they're going to be coached better. I think they'll play better. I don't know if we're going to tear things up. We'll probably get top 4. Hopefully, we can at least get top 4. Maybe get far into the Champions League. But I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Rangnick because I feel like the most important thing with him coming in is the consultancy part, which it shouldn't be this thing where he makes a phone call, sends a couple of emails, and they go, yeah, whatever, Rangnick, and ignore him. I feel like, particularly with Murtaugh, who apparently visited him a couple of years ago at RB Leipzig, and I think Rangnick even said, hey, when I was talking to him, I was showing him the facilities, and we were talking about, our system and our style, and blah, blah, blah. It looked like he was more interested in me than he was in RB Leipzig. So it's good that Murtaugh was like, yeah, this is a guy we need for us. Because even though this is the biggest club in the world, it is run like a bank. It's not run like a football team. And once again, the idea or the fact that they actually made this decision and hired this guy is fucking great. Even if it fails, it's still a great decision to make. And if it fails, you got to make a better decision. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how it's going to play out, like I said, with him as a coach. If he could just get the basics down, get these guys playing better, get their fitness up, then he'll, at the end of the season, be a part of the process of deciding who comes in next. Everybody thinks it's going to be Erik ten Hag. That's fine with me. I feel kind of bad for Pacha, though, because I know Pacha's really wanted this since before we hired Ole. And it's like, strangers in the night, these two passing ships in the night. They constantly, every time Pacha is close to getting the job, something happens and he doesn't get it. So it just may not be, or it's just the people who think because Rangnick is coming in, Ten Hag is going to be to follow. And really, United is probably thinking, no, we've wanted Poch. PSG is not going to release him from his contract, but they'll probably fire him at the end of the season if he doesn't win the Champions League. So they may be just waiting for him to get fired or just waiting to actually negotiate for him over the summer. But, that's the whole thing with having someone who's got the nous of Rangnick. They could take his advice and decide if, Ten Hag is better. Although I think Poch would be great. But I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I could not believe when I saw United Stand notification pop up, and it said, Ragnar, Ralf Rangnick deal done. And I was fighting to turn on. I know I had this on my laptop, but I wanted to watch it on my television. So I was fighting to turn the television on, turn my Blu-ray on that has the YouTube app on it. And all of a sudden, it was just taking 10 years. It was like, no, I'm initializing. Please wait. I'm not ready to show it. I was like, and you know, I'm something's wrong with me. I got OCD or something. So instead of me just listening to it on my laptop, I'm just like screaming at the television to get sorted so I could watch it. But anyway, so I watched that, and I was like, I can't believe they made this decision. I can't believe it's Thanksgiving Day. This is the best Thanksgiving ever. You know, I'm here alone. I'm not with family. I'm not with friends. I'm just chilling by myself. Nobody to cook anything Thanksgiving-wise, but I don't care. It was the best Thanksgiving ever, just to know that Ragnick was on the way. Now, it hasn't been officially announced. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow, Monday. And hopefully he gets to start prepping the team for Arsenal. But part of me thinks that maybe Carrick will be in for Arsenal, just so that they can get the tougher games out of the way, so that then Ralf can take over after that. Somebody called him Ralf Ragnarok.
Just do it. Genau! Ich will da draußen sehen, was unser Why ist. Ja? Ich will da draußen eine Truppe voller Krieger. Ja? Schlagt zurück mit allem, was ihr habt. Weil da, wo wir hinwollen, kriegen wir nichts geschenkt. Nirgendwo. Und deswegen geht jetzt raus und holt euch das, was ihr wollt.
And yeah, that's very appropriate. So I guess that's it. I don't have much else to say. There's a lot of really great videos on YouTube talking about your boy, Wreck-It Ralph, Mr. Ragnarok, and his philosophy, which is exciting football. So you look at people like Tuchel or Klopp, and there's others. But particularly it was funny that they were, reporters were asking Klopp and Tuchel, what do you think about him coming to the Premier League? And Klopp was funny because he was like, oh, it's scary now because a good coach is coming to England, and that, United is going to be organized. And it's embarrassing when you think about, for years, we've had this clown, Ole, completely clueless. This is who we had to suffer as the manager of one of the biggest teams. So, Chelsea has Tuchel. Liverpool has Klopp. Man City has, what's his name? Why do I call him Pedro? Sorry, his name is not goddamn Pedro. I have to say, Pep. Guardiola. So do we have Pep? I had to sit here and look for it because my brain's melting. I always say that. My brain's always melting, especially when I haven't eaten. But anyway, I'm excited for him to come. I hope that, I don't have any allegiance to any of the players, but I would like to see Donny play more because I think would be great for the system. I also want to see Ronaldo play because it'd be ridiculous that Ronaldo comes here and you have all these kind of goofballs and these pundits who are like, he's just a luxury player, he doesn't press, he's ruining the team, when he's the main reason Ole's last as long as he has after what Bruno's been doing because of Ronaldo. And it was pissing me off that Ronaldo was doing so well, winning games and pulling his fat out of the fire instead of just losing so that we can get somebody sooner. But I'm excited about what could happen. I think is a great choice, even if it just completely fails. And you've got people who say he's unproven in the Premier League. I don't expect him to win a championship or anything. I just expect him to change the culture for real. Get the players thinking about football and about their fitness and about playing better, understanding better what their roles are. So hopefully, he'll have the ability to fire people like Carrick and McKenna, or maybe he could teach Carrick and McKenna. I feel like he's the type of guy who he looks at them and knows that they ain't shit. But I also feel like he doesn't mind working with them to kind of teach them, because he's bringing at least one person that he knows to assist him. So he doesn't have to really listen to Carrick or anything like that. He can actually train the team and talk to the team. And he's got to have at least, 6-7 games where they're not going to be able to get trained that much, because they're coming back to back. But I mean, starting probably early next year, things will be much better, and we could really maybe see what his influence will be. And then I don't think he wants to coach beyond the interim period. So we'll probably just end up with either Poch or Ten Hag. I'm kind of leaning to Poch, but I think it's probably just because I feel bad that Poch keeps missing out when he could have had this job years ago. And I just feel bad for people who they have a dream and then they can't fulfill it. And it sucks too, because Ole's dream was to coach Man United, and he shit on it. He fucked it up because he wasn't brave enough or strong enough or whatever his issues were. And he ruined it. And he had it for 3 years and never changed it and never turned it around. But anyway, Ole's in the past. Hopefully, finally, United has a chance to have a much better future than it looked like we were going to have just a week ago. Thanks for listening. Take care.